Hey folks, so this is a video to give you some ideas about how you might memorize a talk of, let's say, between 10 and 15 minutes in length. In other words, potentially a TED talk, TEDx talk, or some other similar type of talk. Now, if you have a tried and tested method that you use and you really love using that method, then carry on using it. However, if you're not sure, here is my suggestion, the one that I use to memorize talks of around that length. So the first thing you want to do is start with your written script. Now, I assume that you have a script already, okay? If you haven't, write your script and then come back to this video. Okay, so assuming you have your script, first thing you want to do is chunk it up into chapters. And essentially what this is giving you it's a bit like a series of stepping stones, right? So you're trying to cross a river, and at the other side of that river is the end of the talk. And it's the message that you have landed for your audience, okay? And you want to take them over that series of stepping stones. And ideally, you should be able to remember, okay, stepping stone 1 is this, and that leads to stepping stone 2, and that leads to stepping stone 3, okay? So that's what you will need to train in your head, okay? So first point then is once you have separated it out into chapters, I want you to start just reading it. Just read each individual chapter, right? Read it out loud, okay? Now, it's very important that when you're practicing, that you speak out loud. It's no point just reading, or at least you get 10% value from just reading it. If you speak it out loud, your body is getting used to remembering what it feels like to speak these words out loud. And not only that, you will find that you potentially improve the words by speaking them, because you go, oh, actually, now the way I've said that, it's not quite what I wanted to say. And so you will change it and you will make it better. Okay. So that's the other benefit of that. Okay. So you can start by taking each chapter in turn, reading it. Okay. Now let's do the next one. And then once you've done that, you can graduate onto reading the whole thing. Does this still make sense? Okay. Then where you wanted to get to is putting the script down or the phone down and trying to remember the whole thing. Now, at this point, I want you to take a bit of pressure off yourself, okay? When you are delivering your talk in real life, no one else in the audience would have seen your scripts, except perhaps the coach that's helped you if they're in the audience, right? But nobody else. So if you don't say it exactly the same way as your script, no one is going to know, okay? So please, 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 please take that pressure off yourself to say exactly the same words as in the script, okay? But the beauty of having the script is that you know exactly what it is you really want to say. It's just that you may not exactly use those same words. Okay, so what I want you to be doing then is just practice saying it out loud. And if you can't remember, then pick up the phone or the script and go, oh, that's where I am. Okay, carry on. And just keep doing that along that process. The more times you do that, the easier it will become. But always remember in the back of your mind, which stepping stone am I on? And what's the next stepping stone? If you forget where you are, often knowing how you need to get to the next step will help you remember what you need to say next. Okay. Hopefully that's going to be useful for you. If you've got any questions, then feel free to drop them in the comments. But otherwise, yeah, happy scripting and happy learning.